I am Lauren from Broadway World Raleigh, and I'm here with Jerome Davis, who is the artistic director of Burning Coal Theater in this really cool building, which I love this building. But let's talk about Hamiltunes. Tell me a little bit about what Hamiltunes is for people who don't know, and tell me a little bit about what's going to happen starting this weekend.
Sure. Well, Lin-Manuel Miranda has licensed something called Hamiltunes, which is effectively a karaoke version of Hamilton. It's not done with, with props or costumes or anything like that, lighting. It's just a kind of a raw version, almost like a concert version. And people go online to our little Sign Up Genius link and sign up to sing one of their favorite roles. And we're doing 4 performances of that, the 11th, 12th, 17th, and 18th of May here at Burning Coal.
Now, can people sign up for any of the roles? Is that how it works?
Sure. We're asking that anyone who wants to sing a part sign up for it. We don't care about their gender or anything else, age, race, any of that stuff. We want people who are passionate about that particular character to be the ones singing it, which I think is in the general flow of the idea that Lin had when he wrote the thing, that the ideas behind the U.S. Constitution are ideas that are equally valuable to everyone and not just to a certain subset of our society, or should be. Well,
and Hamilton has really spoken to young people, as you and I discussed. So is this a way that, I think Hamilton in general, do you think, is a way to really bring young people to theater?
I think it's a way to bring young people to theater, but even more importantly than that, and I never thought I'd utter that phrase, but even more important than theater, it's a way to bring them into politics, into thinking about how the U.S. Constitution was set up and why it has remained more or less intact and solid and something to be emulated the world over. Our politicians don't always live up to the high ideals of the Constitution. Often we'll have a president, not to name names, but to decide to invade a country without getting Congress's approval, and they will simply declare, well, we don't need to, and that's unconstitutional. But it is what happens. And so politicians and the Constitution are 2 entirely different ideas. And Hamiltunes and Hamilton, of course, reminds young people of what the core ideas are that our government is supposed to be arranged around. And hopefully it will lead them into further exploration of whether the political leaders that they are asked to support are living up to those ideals or not.
And if people don't want to sing, can they still come and watch, or is everybody going to get involved somehow?
No, there are two separate groups. There are the group of brave souls who will be up on stage singing, and there are the people who want to come and hear the beautiful music and the passionate music sung. Sometimes by people they know, family, friends, classmates, and some of them will just be audience members, regular audience members. So it's going to be a diverse group of people in every way of looking at that, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. We open, today is Thursday, so tomorrow is our first performance, and then we have a Saturday performance, and then we have next week a Thursday and Friday performance, and then we'll be done with it.
Do people need tickets?
Well, we're asking that people make reservations. It's free to the public with a suggested donation of $10 at the door. People can call and reserve their ticket at 919-834-4001. And more information about this can be found at our website, which is burningcoal.org.
And let's talk a little bit about what you've got coming up. So this is just a small snapshot of kind of the bigger picture. What's coming next?
Well, it used to be that we sort of took the summers off a little bit, and that didn't hold very long. We have a ton of stuff coming up. Next week, along with Hamiltunes, we have our Oakwood Cemetery Play series, which we've been doing every year over in the Oakwood Cemetery, about 10 blocks from our building. in which stories about the lives of people who are buried there and who had profound influences on our city's development over the years, and sometimes beyond that, national figures are buried there as well. For instance, I'll bet you didn't know that a man named Red Upshaw is buried in the Oakwood Cemetery. Red died in a poker game in New Mexico, was shot. His body was brought back here. He was buried on the far end of the cemetery, as far away from the other Upshaws as they could get him. But it turned out that a week later, his ex-wife walked out in front of a car in Atlanta and was killed. And her name was Margaret Mitchell. And so Red Upshaw was the model for Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, and he's buried 10 blocks from here in the Oakwood Cemetery. Not many people know that, and so we tell stories like that sort of educate people about the history of our city and about the influential and sometimes not influential people in our community over the last 250 years. But they're also great fun and human interest stories.
So you've got the Oakwood Cemetery,
Yes.
Cemetery piece, and then
1 week after that, Kids Write, which is a series of plays written by youngsters from 6th to 12th grade. That runs the 25th and 26th of May, and it's going to be fantastic this year. The kids always come up with interesting stories, but this year's crop of selected plays are just fantastic. And then in June, we do our second stage series, which we call Wait Till You See This. And we call it that because it's plays that wouldn't typically be done on our main stage. This year, we're collaborating with a company called She Cow Productions to do a play called Worried, which is a series of monologues about the African American experience in the 21st century. The second play is a collaboration with the Women's Theater Festival, and it is called, rather whimsically, Crumble or Lay Me Down Justin Timberlake. So that's the subtitle. And then Burning Coal itself is producing the third play, and that is a beautiful, beautiful one-person show called Iphigenia in Splot. Splot being sort of a ghetto area in Cardiff, Wales. So it's about a young lady who more or less lives on the streets in Cardiff, and it's just beautiful. It's one of the best plays I've read in the last decade or so. So we're looking forward to those three. We also have our summer camp for middle school students in June, which happens 2 weeks in June. If you haven't signed up yet, it's still possible to do that at burningcoal.org. And in July, our senior camp for senior high school students, 3 weeks in July, and information can also be found on our website about that one.
That's fabulous. So lots of great things happening.
Lots of stuff, yes.
But let's get back to Hamiltunes for 1 second. So what time does it start?
7 o'clock each night.
7 o'clock. And do people need to be here a little bit early?
Yeah, we open the house about 20 minutes before. So if you want to make sure I think that all the seats will be good because it's more about listening and hearing than it is about watching. So I think any seat in our little 140-seat theater will be just fine. But if you want to get your perfect seat, be here by about 6:30.
Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed talking to you,
Sure.
and hope everyone will come out to see Hamiltunes. I've reserved my spot, so I can't wait.
We would love to see all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you.